as a team, they did it. Sure, they were led by 2 star players, but they wouldn't have done it without every single person on the team. But we still gotta talk about these 2 stars because they are the epitome of what basketball is all about. One guy from Canada and the other from Serbia. The game of basketball brought them together and now they're inseparable. They came to America and both of them felt like they could compete with just about everyone in the NBA. And of course, they were right. Once again, this is what basketball is all about. People from many different countries coming together to not only give us incredible entertainment, but also making lifelong bonds. We've seen things like this before. We saw it in the Spurs teams of old. Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili. All 3 from different countries, but they came together and gave us the most beautiful basketball ever played. We got teams such as the Warriors who have had players come and go, but the ones who were true to the team stayed all the way through. And here they are still today, winning games at the highest level. But the Nuggets are just getting started. This was definitely proven by this year's finals. Jokic has put together one of the most dominant playoff runs in NBA history, and his finals performances have rivaled those of Shaquille O'Neal's best performances in his prime. You simply cannot stop him. If you leave him one-on-one, there's a good chance he is going to get a bucket. If you double him, he will make the perfect pass at the right time. And to go along with that, he is almost guaranteed to pick up over 10 rebounds. The ultimate all-around player. Jamal Murray is the perfect guy to complement Jokic. We saw them both achieve triple-doubles in Game 3. Jamal can shoot the lights out of the ball. He can create for himself and make incredible passes. He's the perfect guy to handle the ball for the Nuggets. And as we all know, he has fought through a lot of adversity. The ACL tear 2 years ago was crushing, but look at him now. Of course, we gotta give credit to Michael Porter Jr. His shot was simply not there in the finals. The reason he's even in the NBA in the first place is his elite jumper and ability to get his shot off in just about every scenario. But it seemed like he had his powers taken away in this series. Some players might have had a more limited impact on the game if their biggest skill was simply not effective. But not MPJ. He found other ways to impact the game. Crashing the glass was part of it. He picked up many rebounds and even had some great putbacks to follow misses. And when the lights were brightest in Game 5, he was the Nuggets' second leading scorer. Just incredible. Aaron Gordon had sparks of brilliance throughout the whole series as well, and he has really turned his career around. He was seen as a guy who didn't work that hard and showed flashes of greatness, but couldn't do it consistently. He then came into Denver and immediately made an impact. And now he's one of the best players on a championship team. For guys like Jeff Green, Ish Smith, Reggie Jackson, and DeAndre Jordan, they didn't get much playing time. These guys are all veterans who were absolutely incredible in their prime. They're all journeymen who have gotten the ring that they deserve their whole career. And of course, they made some solid plays in the process too. Christian Braun is one of the biggest winners we have ever seen. He won the college basketball championship just a few years ago, and now he's an important piece to the Nuggets championship squad. It has been years since we have seen a rookie perform this well in the finals. Bruce Brown brought a spark for the Nuggets whenever they needed one. When others were down, oftentimes it was Bruce Brown who picked the team back up. KCP has been a great defender and knockdown shooter for the Nuggets, and he notched his second ring. And there it is, the team that made it here. Watching them play has been incredible. But for the Nuggets, this is just the start. They are nowhere close to being done. They have the potential to build a dynasty. As long as they continue finding elite role players and they can keep Murray and Jokic together, the possibilities are endless. But for now, I'm sure the Nuggets and the entire city of Denver is just enjoying this victory. But I can't just end the video without talking about Miami. To be honest, Miami's playoff run is just as impressive as the Nuggets. To tell the full story, we have to start with the play-in tournament. If we go back and recall what happened in the play-in, we saw Miami lose to the Hawks and the Bulls defeat the Raptors. This meant that the Bulls would play the Heat to decide who would make the playoffs. Now let's keep in mind that the Bulls were coming off of a spectacular game. Zach LaVine just dropped a 40-piece versus Toronto, and DeMar DeRozan was playing incredibly well. As for the Heat, they were done for. They were coming off of an ugly loss. Their season seemed like it was about to end. But that's when the legend of playoff Jimmy Butler continued. He dropped 31 points, and Max Strus matched that with his own 31 points, and the Heat had powered past the Bulls. But what did it matter anyway? They were going on to play the Bucks. They were about to get annihilated. So that big win versus Chicago didn't mean anything, right? Game 5. The Heat were done for. Giannis was back from injury, and the Bucks were hungry for a comeback, but not as hungry as Jimmy Butler. 56. How did he pull it off? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Playoff Jimmy was cemented in the history books once again. In the next series, the Heat were counted out once again versus the Knicks, but they pulled out the victory. And versus Boston, they went up 3-0. And even when they were up 3-2, the series was supposed to be over, but they had to fight to the finish in Game 7 to pull out the victory. I still couldn't tell you how they did it. How they won these many important playoff games despite having a losing record in the regular season. But of course, they didn't win the championship. There can only be one winner, but this year's Miami Heat made history. This was one of the greatest playoff runs I have ever seen. I'm sure they'll be back next year, especially when they get Tyler Hero back. Every team has the same goal. Every team fights as hard as they can to achieve that goal, and the best team comes up on top. That's what sports is all about. And the Nuggets pulled it off this year because they are simply the best. But that's it. The season is over and the grind will not end for any of these players. But as for us, we will have to wait for the next season to start because I'm sure it'll be just as incredible as this one. But that's it for me. Congratulations to the Nuggets once again. And I will see you all in the next one.
Know yourself, know your worth. My actions being louder than my words. How you sold, I've been still sold down to earth. Wanna do it, we can do it on the turf.